Let's take a look at Divine Feminine's read. It's already looking juicy. Who are these two bears in your chair? Oh, okay. Let's look at Divine Feminine's update for July this week and what I see coming through for you. Now, if you do want this content ahead of the crowd, you can get it via a YouTube VIP. Very separately, we do coaching, we have a chat room, we have element reads for the twin flame path. So if that's something you want, come through. Now, what am I seeing here? Number one, Venus retrograde, blast from the past. Look, I do feel Divine Feminine is looking at their options. For some of you, yes, it can be you're in communication, there's physical movement, it can be quite warm, there can be some negotiations. I also feel you are very, how would I put it? You're wanting to move forward. You're wanting to have things shift, but there can be some flashback moments. I do feel for some of you, there can be some suitors that are very, very attracted by you, and you could be meditating upon the past and reviewing the future as you do proceed forward. But I do feel this confidence that's really going to boost, and it can be very vivacious. But I do feel some of you also are looking at it from a very firm standpoint. Yes, you do have more than one option, and you will investigate your options should this not transition through. I do see as you are looking to the past. There was a worry war. There was the concerns of, is this ever going to be? Is it going to get back on track? Maybe even sleepless nights. There was a lot that you were going through. This could have been also psychologically really worried about these things, especially because during Venus retrograde, we have potentials of recommunication. Pardon me. Yeah, again, the worry wall energy. Please protect your aura at this point in time. Whenever there is a yawn, it always, to me, in a channeled message means there is a little bit of an evil eye. Okay. The other reason that can be there is because of Saturn and Neptune retrograde. So protect yourselves. I do feel, this has kept you up. It's like, look, do I go left? Do I go right? How do I deal with this thing? I'm noticing in the heart space, if there is somebody that's speaking to you, or you are even entertaining the thought of an individual, be it you're looking at joining a dating site or it is a physical person, I feel in your heart of hearts, you're sort of saying to yourself, but this person isn't my emperor. Is there a possibility of divine masculine moving into that zone of being an emperor? There is this loss. There is a feeling of sacrifice. And again, it could have been through your ascension process, the healing. So you feel a little disillusioned by this, but you're wanting to be very realistic, even though there's a potential of doing both at this point in time, both dreaming and feeling disillusioned. A lot emotionally is coming to the surface, and I feel these can be positive things. It doesn't have to be negative things. Not necessarily do you have to have a connection that is exactly like the cookie cutter situation, the white picket fence, the babies, the house. But again, you want something for you. You want something different. You don't want these patterns to repeat. I feel many of you have unpacked it. Many of you, it could be that your family maybe is giving you some advice. It might be that friends are trying to partake their advice. You're trying to not allow the past to define you. I do feel for some of you, a child might say something to you, and this person could be older now. I'm hearing, oh God, what's the song? I keep forgetting to forget you. Okay, something's going to move quite quickly. I do feel there could be a dive deep. I do feel the chemistry between you can really be picking up. There's almost a draw for both individuals to come through. They're also making reference to not being so hard on yourself. You know, whatever you feel you need to do, just honour that. For those of you that do understand the Venus retrograde, especially from these cards that I'm looking at, addressing new relationships, it's almost like an investigation stage. It's almost like during those retrogrades, it is far better. And, you know, I have heard some other tarot readers talk about it. And from my personal experience, it's, you know, if you spiritually have changed, this is a great time for renegotiation. It's a great time to revisit how much both parties have grown. I do feel divine masculine here in the mix is looking at you from a very realistic point of view. They know that you're not being unreasonable. They also know that they, how would I put it? If they were acting to a point, it was all fine, everything's flowing. I don't know what you're, you know, capering on about. If they ever did that to you in some shape or form, they're actually making reference to the revelation that they knew that was projection. It was almost passive aggressiveness. They didn't know that's what it was. There has been a maturity here. There has been, you know, growth and transformation. There is some sense of guilt, but I feel the guilt is more in relationship to the past and a situation that went down between the both of you. Some of them do want to have children with you, but they also just love you for who you are. I do feel some of you are going to be quite creative, but I also get this vibration that the people around you are going to give you advice. You just got to be really able to decipher what is going to suit you. So, you know, it's a little bit like saying, okay, I'll be open to a perspective. Then I'm going to sit with it. I'm going to digest it. And I'm going to connect with my guides and say to myself, okay, is this relevant for me? Does this work for me? Is this my truth? And the truth always comes from the heart. They're also making reference with your outcome card is, how can I say this so it lands? There's no perfect recipe. I feel some of you have been thinking, have I missed something? Is there a perfect recipe? Is there something I can do to actually enhance this? Yeah, we just can't do the work for another, unfortunately. And that's the most frustrating thing. I also feel some that are actually in communication are making reference to the fact it's almost like there's a lot of influx of energy and then it's all retracted back. And that situation, you know, that's really causing a lot of growth. Divine feminine in the mix isn't attracted by that. Okay, they're also making reference to the fact that a karmic cycle is not as happy as you think. Don't underestimate divine masculine. You could have some radical surprises this month. Yeah, something could drastically end, especially that was blocking the path. I do feel divine masculine is tuning into those of you that are thinking about moving forward. And they're adamant. They are not letting this go. Yeah, they're also making reference to the fact they do value you. Like, they haven't forgotten you. They do value you. Okay, what are they doing? How are they tackling the circumstance, please? Huh. They're trying to enter into your mind. They're trying to enter into your dream state. There could be a text message that some they are going to apologize via text. There could, there's this almost moment where divine feminine is feeling a little bit down. Some of you could come across a photo. It could be an item that directly linked to the both of you. Those of you also that were directly intimate most recently, they're also making reference to that. They want you to know there's nobody like you. Okay. Some of you may have a crushed flower that was given to you from your twin. I'm noticing a Leo on the clarifier. Some of you, they're making reference to owning a bottle. It feels like it's tequila and it's got a worm. They're just making these reference points. I feel there can be a moment you're physically looking to the stars. I do get a very firm, I'm going to pull a clarify with the chakra card because I'm getting a very firm phone call, especially for those of you that have not had communication in a while. I feel overall there's an overarching energy of communication coming up. On feminine this week is really investigating, is this going to move? Is communication in a while? I do really on the fence. She's becoming her own path, her own destiny. I'm really looking there, especially because she wants warrior, this emperor. I'm activating divine masculine. I is going to tell you what is correct. I ultimately feel the biggest bugbear is the deep feeling that you have for your twin, and the fact of that subconsciously, even though there could be chivalry around you, it is this person in the heart of hearts that you really want. I will see you next week. Make sure to check out the karmic and divine masculine, and I will see you next week. Take care, beautifuls.